friends, Harvey Michaels here. Welcome back to our wild ride with Danshui President Plunge Spear Bloom, a story that had me on the edge of my seat while writing it. I'm excited to share a taste with you today. If you're new here, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's jump in.
Chapter 6, Part 2. Ahua wished his feet were not betraying him by disobeying his desire for silent movement. He hoped the ambient sound of wind rustling branches and leaves through the open garage door would mask his shoes tapping on concrete as he crept, bent over, back to find the other guy. He stiffened when he saw feet coming along the steel roller door space toward the rear of the truck trailer. He identified the shuffling gait of the feet as belonging to Lao San. Those shuffling feet turned to walk along the side of the trailer toward his fallen A-teammate Lao Er. Ahua hated how long he took to crab walk under the trailer behind Lao San's forward progress. The occasional thumping of the electric saw put out diversionary sounds, but Lao San paid no attention to them. He spoke out to someone ahead of him. Lao San recognized D. His eyes peeked out behind the trailer tires, but Ahua was several meters away at an imperfect angle from the man's back. Ahua saw D at the bottom of the ramp holding a pistol out in surrender in front of Lao San, too close for Lao San to miss. The denim-jacketed man was raising his gun, about to fire it. Without waiting, without thinking, and without warning, Ahua shot the gun twice from his knees. Both bullets hit where they were aimed, between Lao San's shoulder blades, one on each side. I was waiting for impact, but no bullet slammed into me. Instead, I saw grape-sized holes appear in the right and the left side of the man's denim-jacketed chest. Poofs of red mist rose between us as he collapsed with a surprised look on his face. Air escaped me in a whoosh. I was holding my breath. Coco's father, Ahua, was waving at me to go to where he was, crouched under the truck trailer. "Get the gun!" he gestured and urgently whispered, pointing at the gun in the man's hand near the growing red pool. I put the bloody revolver I had into my pocket and picked up the dry one on the ground. "What now?" I whispered as I reached Ahua. We heard the answer. The last surviving A-team member, Lao Ing, the one they ridiculed for years, heard the last gunfire end. A minute before that, someone finally silenced the fish chopper racket, and he noted when and where a nearer human sound subsequently came from. Still, no one called out for him. He assumed they were all dead or badly wounded. He knew if he didn't do right by Kingfish, his end would be the same or worse. So he dialed up his courage and started forward, his gun hand leading the way. He waggled his head and snapped his arms and shoulders up and down as he walked the first steps, trying to shake off some of his intense drug high. Moving around stacks of banana boxes toward the side the others did not go, he saw on his right, hunkering in a corner behind a support column in the middle of stacked boxes, Coco and President Wang Sanbao. "I see you, Coco," he sang the slurred words. "You just put down that gun and come out here now." "Lao Ing, don't make me use this gun. I will. I'll shoot you if you make me." Coco sounded confident, standing low, blocking his target. The A-team all knew that fighting hand-to-hand, she was without peer. But with a gun? "You can leave, Coco. Just put down the gun and walk away." He tried to sound mean, but his voice cracked. Coco moved her fingers on the empty revolver like she was checking her aim. "Didn't you hear what's been happening? You're the only one left. I know you came to kill us. Now you better put down that gun and get out of here while the getting's good." A gunshot fired loudly when Lao Ying shot into the ceiling. He leveled his pistol at Coco. "That was the only warning shot you're getting, Coco. I'm an excellent shot, and the next one is going into your pretty face. You wait for me to get into position. Then step out from back here," Turtle Skipper whispered into my ear. We were still close to the trailer, maybe 15 meters away from them. "How do I know when?" I whisper asked, holding the gun sideways in question, just then aware of my forehead swelling and numb where it hit the man's chin on the catwalk. Turtle Skipper pushed my gun barrel away from his vicinity and toward the voices out of sight. He came close and whispered, "Count to 10, then move forward and let him see you, and tell him to put down the gun. Start counting now." Ahwa slunk away. "It's over," I said, hoping I sounded firm. My finger felt strong on the trigger. I thought it was good I left the other gun slimed by blood in my pocket, and also fortunate that Romeo shot my left side, not my right. I could use my right arm fine. "Put down the gun, now." Lao Ying was between me and Coco, much closer to me. Coco was over in front of Sanbao. Lao Ying turned quickly to face me, and for the fourth time it happened. With a shocked expression, he exclaimed, "You!" Then the shock gave way to rage. He turned away, begins squatting to aim better. Turtle Skipper was on him instantly. He put the barrel of his revolver on the back of the man's head and tried to persuade him. "Relax, Lao Ying. Put the gun down." The man mockingly called Eagle let his gun hand fall to his side and stood up. I started walking over. Something settled inside the man, his face fixed, determined. "Turtle Skipper, you know Kingfish won't stand for me turning over this pistol. I guess I can get one of you at least." He turned back toward Sanbao and Coco to fire his gun. Click went Turtle Skipper's empty gun. Lao Ying yelled in elation. Ahwa lurched out, clawing to grab the man, but Lao Ying anticipated this and shoved Ahwa, who slipped and fell backward to the ground. Lao Ying turned toward Ahwa, raising the revolver. Lao Ying was not seeing me walking his way with my shaking gun-held hand. He was not seeing Coco running toward him either, but she was too far away. I was close. 2 or 3 meters was all. Even so, I figured I'd probably miss, but I had to try. And for my own conscience, I had to try to hit him in a non-lethal way. In one motion, I stepped left, so Coco was not in my line of fire. Then, without pausing, though I let off an involuntary whined sound of protest, I held the gun firmly and straight, aimed at his shooting shoulder, and squeezed off 3 quick shots. All 3 shots went in the direction I fired them, but unfortunately for Lao Ying, I missed his shoulder. Spun from the first hit, he got 1 shot off, but took all 3 of mine. First, 1 bullet slammed into his side, under his arm, spinning him, and the next went smack dab into his temple. The 3rd bullet hit the center of his cheekbone. I lowered the now tilted revolver. The barrel seemed thin to do such damage. Coco still had a lot of Romeo's drying blood on her, but then she ran into a shower of Lao Ying's blood and brain matter. It was an awful sight, a frightful mess. Somehow, though, I swallowed my thoughts about it, about what I did. Turning right to tell Ahwa I was aiming for Lao Ying's shoulder, I was alarmed to see him down, holding his neck, blood oozing from between his fingers. Ahwa's daughter ran to him, crying and dripping Lao Ying's gore onto her father. In an instant, I felt sick to my back molars, and exhaustion suddenly covered me. My chin dropped an inch, but that clunk down felt like I fell to my knees. No time for this, Dee. I willed myself to ignore everything, even the frag pain registering higher. Coco, let me see. I moved next to her and pulled Turtle Skipper's hands off his wound to gauge how serious it was. Paul Hu in the fish chopper. Nobody move. This is the police. Paul Hu steps inside the door, follows our sound over to where we are, shocking me and angering me for not checking the drone video feed. It's okay, really. It's over now, Officer Sanbao wanly smiles at him. He is deteriorating fast. His limbs are limp and his breathing is shallow, but he won't admit that he's getting worse. Perfect! I cheer. Everyone looks at me bewildered. We really needed a hero. You came here in the nick of time, officer. With one eye on the drone video feed of the parking lot, I quickly summarized the events of the past hour, beginning with my being taped to the wall and being shot, all the way up to Ahua's neck wound. But that must not be the story. Everything will unravel if it's not simple. If I am here, things will get too complicated and the press will blow everything up. I keep explaining. Ahua, their own turtle skipper, arrived and helped his daughter fight off the A-team. They were long-time unwitting accomplices, unfortunately killed. They were indispensable for Officer Hu overtaking the A-team. 3 confused, unbelieving expressions. Hands shaking, stabbing the numbers on my phone to get Colonel Shun on the phone. I croak out, "Quick, Coco! Go get the duct tape from upstairs." I point urgently. "Your dad will be okay, but 2 more bad guys are coming." Coco runs up to get the tape, and I slap my forehead, remembering and feeling bad that she has to be the one who runs back in there where Romeo's body is. Before pushing the green button to start the phone call, I check the video feed from the drone and then quickly call Colonel Shun. He answers on the first ring again. Colonel Shun is on the same page. Wang Sanbao insists on coming on the phone and vouching for Coco and her father's innocence, and insisting police help them how they can, all in secret. Sanbao promises to take care of any financial expenses. Turtle Skipper, Ahua, you stay down. Coco, you lie down next to him. Both of you, close your eyes and play dead. They are down near banana box stacks, closer to the entrance where there is slightly better lighting. Don't show your teeth at all. Close your eyes. That's right. I take several pictures and send them to Colonel Shun, trusting he will know just what to do. I tell Coco she did a fine job wrapping my earlier bullet wound, and I have her duct tape her father's neck now. On impulse, I introduce Colonel Sun and Paul via speakerphone. Colonel Sun, let me introduce you to Officer Paul Hu, our hero. Handing my phone to Paul, I turn to check on Sanbao and barely hear Paul's greeting to Colonel Sun, so alarmed I am for my elderly friend. My stomach muscles squeeze in desire that a helicopter ambulance will arrive soon for Sanbao, who needs his blood pressure medicine badly. All the excitement is making him worse. He looks gray and very sick. "I see a big problem, Dee," Sanbao weakly intones, his eyes barely cracking open. "What?" Sanbao weakly points at Paul, who is walking over behind me. "Look at him. He's 2 in one piece." Sanbao sinks back down, barely conscious. He is spent, in dire need of his medicine. Coco kneels and stays with him, stroking his hand and his face, urging him to just relax and take breaths until help comes. "He's right," Paul says, off the phone. "Somebody hit me a couple times. Try to break something." Papa Sanbao. Coco's eyes overflow with tears. "Please look away now. This is the last time I ever want to hit anyone ever again. Sanbao's eyes teem over with tears too. I won't leave you, child. I will give you strength from here. Go do what you have to do. Her tears are steady, making a slick, horrible, bloody, and runny mask on her face. Stand against this column, Coco says, and Paul steps over to it. I'll make this fast, officer. I'll hit here 3 times quickly, and then here, she says, touching his left lower ribs and then his right jaw. Call me Paul, he smiles. You... She pushes his chest back with her left hand and flashes 3 swift, hammering right hooks to the same spot she warned. She drops her left hand as she swings the 3rd right to his ribs. The instant she connects with the 3rd right, she comes across with a vicious left hook that lands with an audible crunch where she said it would. I run to check on Officer Hu, amazed at the speed and power the slender girl with movie star looks unleashed. It was just as Pieface said, describing the same girl 16 years before. Help me up, Paul croaks. To me, he looks like he sees stars. I need to call this in, he says in a nasal tone through clenched teeth. Let me walk a few steps, he says, slowly plodding away toward the trailer. I call out after him, No, Paul, don't call it in. You heard Colonel Sun. Trust me on this. The highest level police are already on it, but... That is all I can get out before the B team runs in. One going left, one coming right, both looking for their now deceased partners. Police find fish chopper Sanger location. Colonel Hand, here it is. Chief Lai's face is red with excitement. Where? What are you talking about? Colonel Hand raised his hand for silence in the crisis center without realizing it. Here, Chief Lai points at the enlarged on-screen Google map in the crisis center. It's a fish processing and warehousing location with connection to Black Pearl. It's just down the street from Sanger PD on Highway 2. See? It's right next door to the junior high school. Just 10 minutes before this call to action, they were told their crisis center would disband in 1 hour, an order which doesn't seem likely to be followed now. Military police. Within seconds, after overhearing the spied conversation, a phone call comes. Colonel Hand, this is Colonel Sun, liaison between military intelligence and... Sir, yes, sir, of course, sir. Colonel Han interrupts and puts the call on speaker. Colonel Han, you must organize officers to form a perimeter around the structure you only just identified in Sanger. Please, make your men clear they are not to interfere or in any way engage inside or near that structure you just found out about. Yes, sir. I understand, sir, he says, not understanding at all, but instantly reacting to follow orders. We'll get that perimeter up right away, sir. Colonel Hand twirls and snaps fingers and points at different officers to get the resources in place right away. He shakes his head. Looks like the order to disband may stand after all.
And that's a wrap for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What stood out to you? If you're enjoying the journey, please share with a friend. It means the world to me. Want to hold the whole Danshui President Plunge adventure in your hand? It's waiting for you on Amazon. And if you do, please leave a quick review. Until next time, take care. I'll be right here ready for the next chapter. See you then.